These are the best highlights from today's 2024 LCK Summer Split matchup.
I don't think Ono knows that Award went into that brush there either, as we're going to just do the same thing. It's a bit of a do-si-do.
The winner of this is Zeus, who's pulling the Renekton, pushing the wave in is, okay, here we go.
Yeah, pyosik fighting against Ona here, who does manage to steal this one away. There's a lightning rush over. The stun comes out immediately, though, from Perfect, and pyosik going to get smashed into the ground. The flash out from Ona as well, as now Zeus is in an extraordinarily uncomfortable position. Seismic Shove is going to miss, and oh my goodness, is it going to work? The turret! Oh, he was almost out of there.
Almost out of there, but it is going to be a 1-for-1 in the end. Zoned off. You've got to make this work, pyosik. 3-6 is going to be tough.
Yep, Slicing Maelstrom is going to be used on the minion wave, and now Perfect just trying to get towards it, wants to get the mana wants to get the experience. As Ona was tanking this one up, we've got dives everywhere though, as Beryl goes in and straight up whiffs. That's going to be the crash down from Carrier to try and buy some space, and Gumayusi should be falling here somehow. It almost worked, but it is going to be the 1-for-2. And T1 just kind of winning everywhere.
Yeah, this is a disaster for KT Rolster. pyosik felt so hard forced when he saw Owner topside there to make this dive happen. It's just so difficult to do. The crash down from Carrier was so well played. And if you're trying to, as the bottom lane, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So even with pyosik ulting him, he can just then turn on the stuns and say no.
Right now, there's a Magnet Storm and a Bullet Time, and Feather Storm does need to be used. In comes Ona, though, as that's Beryl almost surviving. Deft also being able to get a fair bit of damage back, as now BDD throws down the wall. Carrier going to knock him off. That's going to be so much damage onto this Talia, and Seismic Shove is going to miss. BDD has to flash to get out after being the one theoretically engaging.
It's the easiest combo in the book. Meanwhile,
yep, Seismic Shove is going to be utilized here. The Renekton Talia combination, some Shuriman friends are going to be able to take down the little Pikachu guy, as T1 now looking to try and answer, but Beryl pretty slippery.
He is going to commit the teleport. This will be seen by the wave, and Perfect still has his, but they're not going to be able to contest the dragon. He will not be teleporting to the opposite side of the map here post 10 minutes. Just head back to the top lane instead.
Well, pyosik really wants to kill Gumayusi, and he is just going to press the button and go for it. The quickness is down as well. Gumayusi is extraordinarily dead. That kill is going to go over to Deft at the same time, and so KT, we mentioned making some ground. This is going to be building upon.
What can do?
Yep, no response, as we have more grubs going over to T1. It's going to be Ona securing, I believe, all 6 of them. pyosik not interested in fighting for these. I don't even remember where Ona managed to take the last ones, but I think it must have been when some of the shenanigans was going on. So that is going to be T1 with a big advantage as far as getting this push happening around the map, and they already have so much lane control.
Composition for T1 because, okay, we'll see something before that.
Yeah, Perfect is just going to pre-dominance and try and keep himself alive, and it ain't going to work at all. Zeus presses his R button and just zaps him down. Just fell down.
Almost got all.
Not going to be able to get those.
Yeah, should still be able to get the turret here before Deft does.
Yeah.
And that is going to be first turret going over to the Kennen, who was able to get a ton of plate gold, 375 plus the kills. He is just so large on that Thunderbolt Pikachu, the namesake of this player, why he always does the Z for Zeus, but also for Kennen in the Thunderbolt, shape that he makes the Z in. You guys know what I'm talking about. I need to explain the Zeus Z, but I'm like trying to.
Yeah. I think maybe he's just too strong, As Beryl's moving on over, just being a little bit frustrating here, as this Cloud Drake is going to be secured. It's an ocean.
When you go... Okay, Owner should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
When you go for the Crypt Bloom second and you are winning this game this hard, the item just feels so snowbally.
We haven't seen any sort of 5v5, any sort of setup. I really am intrigued as to whether or not, KT can make it work, as I've seen this on the top side of the map. It's going to happen once again, as there's the flash forward from Perfect. He avoids the Emperor's Divide, and then pyosik just goes through it. Vault Breaker comes down, but it's not going to be enough. Carrier is going to pay for his sins, but he flashes out of the way. Bullet Time to celebrate.
Get a ton of value in terms of damage, but it helped make sure that KT couldn't follow up further, and they're going to get a turret for this as well, it looks like.
Yeah, all 5 of them are over here. Seismic Shove goes wide. Perfect soaking as much of this as possible, but this is a foregone conclusion. Turret is going to go down, and T1 just slink away into the fog of war.
Season And just putting that early pressure in the top lane to great use, and then just having so much pressure that you can take those risks, that you can kind of play a little bit fast and loose and still get away with it. Does feel very T1, the T1 that ended up being our finalists so many times in a row. Frontlining.
Yeah, and Zeus on a flank angle as well, looking to try and catch this Renekton, making his way forward. He's spotted on that control ward, and there we go. Perfect still going to get tagged with the Shuriken, and Faker comes down. Renekton is very much going to die. It's just whether or not KT can find anything as a result of it, and the answer is going to be maybe mid lane out of turret, and I think, okay, never mind.
Chip away at this and get some control of the river back. Perfect has TP in 10 seconds.
Oh,
too late.
This dragon is still up and available. Faker is going to go golden, but there's the quickness. The bullet time is gigantic, though, and even Faker's sweep is going to work beautifully. Now Def, yes, he pressed the Feather Storm, but he comes down into hell once again, and T1 are going to wipe the map of KT, and Perfect, he just respawned. He's like, where did my friends go?
Bought that Seeker's arm guard. He had the extra eco with some of that extra plate gold to pick that up. Didn't finish his Leandri's. Isn't that as interested in that because he just knows that if he has enough money to buy the stopwatch, he will be safe in almost any scenario, and he is when the engage comes through.
Soul Point also, I feel like we're watching the last series. You know, this is kind of like the advantages that B&K were getting, where they were the ones picking up all of the neutral objectives, but also winning the fights, winning the map, taking the turrets. And this is the T1 that we grew to expect, that we haven't seen for the last couple of weeks. They are going to be able to break open the base here on the bottom side of the map. And I think that I don't see really a way back for KT unless there is some sort of miracle.
Yeah, I think PDD was maybe hoping for a crazy flank there, but no one's vulnerable.
Well, it's trying to throw some rocks on the ground and things like that. Anyone not looking too worried about it. In a turret in the mid lane will be just sort of looked at momentarily, and that does go down. There is still an inner on the top side. Minion wave in an awkward spot for T1.
Strong Renekton to do so. He'll just get turned on. He doesn't have TP right now, and T1 just slowly grinding them out of the game.
Yeah, Seismic Shove is going to connect, and did we notice? Not really. That is a keeper's verdict, just to be channeled here by Owner for fun. Storm, and there's a bullet time, and what does KT actually do to stop from melting? And the other especially when there's an Ocean Soul on top of it.
Yeah, the other thing too is that KT's comp requires you to be ahead.
To go in and try and fight this immediately, but Perfect was back home. There was no way for them to do anything about it.
So I said it was going to take a miracle to maybe steal this Baron, take that one away, win the team fight here. I think it's going to take an incredible miracle.
Do whatever he wants. It is getting a little bit difficult here, as you can see. Def finally taking a bit of damage. That is a Seismic Shove. They get a stun onto Carrier, who crashes out of there. Still, it's 50% health almost of a Rel. That's what they get for managing to find the angle. BDD, if he gets another one of these shoves, though, it could be an important moment here as quickness from Beryl. He looks for the angle. Owner just says no and presses W.
That was a little tricky way for him to try to do it, but Owner just is like, nah.
Yeah, the R for W trade is a rough one.
30 seconds after, or for 30 seconds before this Baron expires, the Elder will spawn. So T1, again, don't even have to get permanent damage done here. They would like to get an inhibitor and then just be able to kite back easily, but so far, pretty heroic defense from KT.
Yep, and now we've got Faker having to use that Zhonya's once again. Owner taking a lot of damages. There's the bullet time. That's going to get the doubles, and Zeus just cleans up the back line. Seismic Shove does nothing. Emperor's Divide does everything, and T1 will cleanly ace KT. They were very patient with that play, but this is going to be the last one of the game. Surgical from T1 here in game number 1, and some well-needed revenge for them in the telecom war.
Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.